All right, guys, remember I did the live stream the other day, and by the way, I'm Zell, and you're here on the Ozark YouTube channel, and we're going to talk about some Wii knives today. From the live stream the other day, there were two knives that you guys really wanted to see. That was the Gentry. I recorded a video on it. Super cool blade with a super cool finish for all you slip joint guys out there. And the Deacon. There were a lot of requests for the Deacon. There's been a lot of requests for the Deacon over on Instagram. It seems that this knife really struck a chord with people. And I find that interesting because it doesn't strike a single chord in my body. So we're going to go through it kind of mechanically and find the cool and maybe find out what's wrong with me, because I just can't find it. But anyhow, let's go through it. First off, I need to get some stuff up on the computer over here. And while I'm doing that, why don't you have a good look at this purple one? Because it is pretty freaking neat, if you ask me. Now, I called it blue the other day, and I was absolutely wrong on that. The initial literature said they were going to be blue, but whenever they actually arrived, let me see if I can bring this up here, and we'll see exactly what color they call it. And they're not going to call it a color on this. And that is a problem that I get many of the times. The knives get to me before they have a UPC tag on their boxes. So I end up with boxes. That one actually has one, but I end up with clean boxes with no tag on them, no colors, no numbers, and that's okay most of the time, because most of the time I can figure it out, but I did goof up on that. And anyhow, we've had a good look at this one, and here's what people are really liking about it. We've got your general Wii build quality. We have a nice classic shape, very 703-ish shape. What was the one we did the other day? Very streakish shape whenever we look at the handle. So people are looking at it and they're seeing that classic handle design, and they're really, really liking that. And I don't blame them at all for that, because that classic handle design, well, it works. We have a classic drop point blade with that classic, almost Bob Lumish blade shape. And we have one of Wii's hand rub finishes that people either love or hate. I've only seen one of these finishes get messed up in all the Wii knives I've seen, and that person that messed it up did one holy goodness job on that blade. So very nice overall. And we got the three little marks. We've got crowning down the spine of the blade. We've got a little bit of soft jimping here, all office hand friendly. And, you know, it's got that Wii action and nice pieces of carbon fiber inlay or overlay, making it a bolster lock. Does have, of course, a steel lock bar insert, and we can see this one fairly good, so we'll talk about it here in a minute. And over travel stop, blah, blah, blah. Nice standard pocket clip. We'll get the jeans out a little early and throw it in the jeans. But there you go. Sticks out of the pocket a little bit, but not bad, and keeps your lanyard thing out of your pocket. And, you know, very nice. All good. I don't need something to go super far down in my pocket. In fact, I prefer that it doesn't. I do want it down there a reasonable amount, though. And we have a gray one. We'll look at the gray real quick. Gray one has a little bit snappier detent, and I definitely like the gray better myself. And I do like the blue screws in the gray. That is pretty freaking cool. And standard pocket clip again. So let's talk about this. All right. Where do we want to go with this? What do you guys want to know? Because I want to talk about this lock bar insert, because it's been a thing that has come up on several occasions. People, and we can see in this knife that there is a lock bar insert. It's pretty freaking obvious because it sticks out there a little ways, and there's definite separation between the tang of the blade and the titanium part of the lock bar. But a lot of people see that little bit of lock bar sticking over there and they freak the heck out because they're not getting full lockup. And oh my God, some company needs to fix this and take their knife and fix it because, okay, hang on. Hang on. The little lock bar piece down in there, and I don't have one out here anywhere to measure, but we're talking between 40 and 60 thousandths. That's as thick as it is. That's the most amount of interface you are going to get between those two parts. So as long as you're getting that interface between those two parts, you're good to go. Don't freak out about it. And I say that and I bring it up with this knife because of that separation there, where if I can get my hands out of the way, you can see that you have pretty much full interface between the lock bar insert and the tang of the blade, but it looks like you don't have much of the lock bar over there. So consider that whenever you're looking down these things. There's a lock bar insert. It changes everything big time. So let's get a close-up of the blade. Blades are gorgeous as always, and these are, what are they? They are Bowler M390. Now, I have heard rumor that WE is going to bring us some more S35 VN blades, and that is actually a good thing. A bunch of you are going to argue with me and tell me I'm an idiot. That's fine. Put it all down there in the comments. I'm happy to delete any disparaging comments that are too rude. If they're just calling me an idiot, I'm not going to delete them. But if you get too rude, you know, I know how to delete, and I know how to hide, and I know how to silence you. But here's what I'm going to say. All these knives in Bowler M390 are a great thing if you have the sharpening equipment to sharpen that stuff. This is the same thing that happened back in the 70s and late 70s, early 80s, whenever properly hardened 440C came about. Because you see, properly hardened 440C at up around 60 HRC, that's some pretty wear resistant stuff and pretty hard to sharpen stuff whenever you're trying to sharpen with Arkansas stones. That's why in many cases, like we got the 420HC soon after that, we saw more use of VG10. We saw use of other steels because for 440C, there was a whole lot of happy and a tremendous amount of complaint about keeping knives sharp from knife enthusiasts at the time. And I'm afraid we're going to see the same thing with M390 20CV, CTS 204P, etc. S35VN is that good, happy place where it's reasonably easy to sharpen and holds an edge for a long time. So I'm actually looking forward to WE Knife Company and some others bringing us more S35VN, and I really would implore you to consider S35VN instead of M390 in cases where you can buy the same knife in both steels, or if you're looking between a couple of knives. And yes, this is the guy that just produced a knife in M390 that is telling you these things. Because, again, if you don't have the equipment to sharpen M390, M390 can be a real pain in the butt for you. Anyhow, let's look at mechanics. It's a WE knife, guys. Do we really need to look at mechanics? Ceramic ball bearing, ceramic detent. Freaking, they get it on the flipper tabs. This is one of the slower WE knives that I've messed with in a while, but they didn't goof it up. They just get it so right most of the time that whenever they put out something that's normal, it's kind of hard to deal with. You know, they put the flipper tab right in line with the center of your pivot. However, they didn't just give you some itty-bitty nub. Knowing they put it there, they let it be a little bit longer, and you still have nice, rockety freaking flips, and they've got the detent dialed in really good on this one and reasonably well on the lavender one. Isn't that right, Will? So very nicely done. We'll look at ergonomics. I'll even pick up the lavender knife so you guys can have me in a lavender knife. Medium large hands. This is where it gets interesting. My hands just barely fit in this knife. Let me get a measurement for you. .442, and it's kind of pointy right here. So if you got bigger hands than mine, you may not want to mess with this knife. Get a 703 or a Streak or something. Or get a Roxy. It'll fit just about any hands. Not joking. This piece right here being curved the way it is, lets just about anybody get their pinky down there. And unless you got really huge hands, you can get 2 fingers there. Now, if you got sausage fingers, sorry, we can only make the choil so big. But anyhow, back to the Deacon. So there you go. We Knife Company makes fine cuts. They do really, really good in putting these things together. This one is all office hands friendly all the way around. I haven't felt anything. I better do that with like a, I don't know which finger to do it with. Side of a finger, maybe? Yeah, it's all office hands friendly, I think. Might be a little bit there on the flipper tab. We'll get these in the pass round. Some other people will have access to them, or get one of them in the pass round anyhow. Some others will have access to them in case you do have office hands or sensitive hands and you want to see for sure. Anyhow, guys, this has been the Deacon. Is there anything I would change about this knife? You know, We Knife Company does a good job with design, and they have done about as well as you can get away with here. There's some wasted space in the handle, but it's wasted for a good reason, to give you something to grab a hold of, so not going to fuss about that. Nope. Nothing to fuss about here. For the knife that they designed, they did exactly what they should have. 3 1/4 inch blade, 4mm blade stock. What do we got? 1/2 inch thick and 2.7 ounces. No failures here. This is just about as good as it gets for this size if it fits your hands. And I know these videos have gotten a little weird lately. That's because I'm trying to work out a new format since some things have changed for me, as many of you know. And no, I'm not going back to the old format, but I will get it worked out. I promise you. Just give me a few videos, and you guys have a great day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Get yourself a lavender Deacon. Lavender Deacon. That's interesting. Anyhow, I'll see you next time. You have a great day.